Hi, welcome back. So, excuse me. So, I'm going to be making 3 cookie recipes that you can use before the holiday season. And maybe I'll squeeze in a 4th, we'll see. But today I'm going to be making the chocolatey, kind of fudgy, fruity, just melt in your mouth kind of brownie-like cookie. That is the Black Forest cherry chocolate cookie. You could even say double chocolate cherry cookie if you add extra chocolate chips. But your main ingredient is the maraschino cherries. If you are not a maraschino cherry fan, this is not the recipe for you. My favorite Christmas candy. I really like almond roca, but I also really love the chocolate covered cherries. Those are really good. So, for this recipe, you are going to need, that's not it, this is it. Alright, half a stick of butter, slightly melted, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 1/3 cup flour, 1/4 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup cherries, plus extra to top it with, and 3/4 cup chocolate chips. Once in a while with my reading, so I used to be in a medical school program, and every once in a while I do a little chicken scratch, and I'm like, what did I write? So anyway, thanks for joining me, and let's get started. Also, hi baby, it is a very snowy day, so let's get a cup of hot coffee and cocoa to pair with our baking afternoon. Before we can have a quiet moment, we must make a loud one. Alright, the one thing I forgot was half a teaspoon of baking soda. And I didn't write that down is because I wanted to double check the recipe, and I was like, wait, is that right? That doesn't seem like enough. And it is. Okay. So, we're going to combine our brown sugar and our butter. You'll have to excuse the dog noises. Buddy has a squeak toy, which I might have to switch up for something else in a minute. And then Rolly has a carrot. So, here we go. Alright, I combined my sugar and my butter and my egg. I could have melted my butter a little bit more, but it'll work out. It'll be fine. Alright, I'm going to add a pinch of salt to this. Okay. And half a cup of maraschino cherries. And I add some of the chips myself because I like that little bit of extra cherryness. So I'll fill it with cherries. Some of the juice goes in, that's alright. By the way, if you would like a really tasty chocolate mocha, reserving a little bit of that juice, don't you dare put it down the sink. It's really delicious. I have a puppy sitting at my feet, ever so patiently waiting for me to drop anything. What I dropped a second ago was some flour. So then, of course, Rolly had a mustache. He's quite literally the best spot in the house, because if I were to drop something, there's where it would be. But also, he's keeping my feet warm, so. So sorry about the squeaking. Alright, I'm going to cut these up a little bit. Alright, I cut up the cherries. And I set aside a few more that I cut extra fine. I set those aside to kind of top everything. So now I'm going to sift my flour and my cocoa powder in here. And I already put in my baking soda. Keep in mind, if you cut your cherries on a cutting board and it's white, you're going to have to soak it for a little bit. That's kind of why I cut it in a measuring cup, because I didn't care. I just didn't care. So. I've seen some recipes that call for sifting flour and some that don't. I really want it to be a fairly light cookie because there's a lot of moisture because of the cherries. So that's why I sift it. Alright, now my flour, looking off to the side, making sure I didn't forget anything. I still need to get my chocolate chips. But other than that, we are in business. Alright, I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to do about a half cup at a time, and then I'll see you back here in a minute. Alright, something I want to point out that's important about this recipe is that it's going to seem really dry. So once you have it all kind of mixed up, then I grab like a spatula or a spoon and I just kind of compact it together. And then it will come together and it'll look more fudgy. I've got my oven set at 350. Alright, all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be stirring and pushing down until it all comes together. Alright, I've got my oven preheating at 350 and my dough is very fudge-like. You could almost eat it right now. See that? That's what you want it to look like. So you're going to round these out a little bit. And then at the top, I ever so slightly just press it with my palm because you're going to be pushing in some cherries and chocolate chips. So you want a surface to do that with. Push down just a little bit. These would also be really good if you did the sugar glaze, rolled them in sugar before you put them in the oven. That would be really yummy. You could, what would be really pretty is if you, that's a little big, is if you cut up a chocolate bar instead of using chocolate chips. So then you have like hunks of cherry and chocolate chips. That'd be really pretty. I'll probably do that on the next one. And you could very, very easily double this recipe. They tend to go pretty quickly, and because you're not using a lot of flour, you're not using lots of butter, it's a very small cookie dough recipe. I'm probably going to get 12, probably, of these cookies. So, if you're making them for a party or giving to neighbors, definitely double the recipe. It smells really good too. I'm going to definitely be making a cherry chocolate mocha. That's what I have left of here. I plopped the dogs outside to play in the snow for a little while. Actually, really, really loves the snow. He'll eat it and stare up at the snowflakes. It's really cute. And Buddy will chase him around in the snow. So I'm going to put these in the oven for maybe 10 minutes. I'd say 8 to 10. These are pretty small. They cook up pretty quickly. 3, 6, 9. I got 11 out of these. So you're going to take your cherries and just kind of smush them in where you think you might need some extra cherry flavor. If there's a lot of juice on them, maybe just kind of drain them just a tiny bit, because you don't necessarily want the juice on top of the cookie. Alright, now I have these little cute mini chocolate chips that I'm going to just push on top of here. No rhyme or reason, just having fun. Alright. Save those. Alright, so I'm going to, my oven's ready. I'm going to put these in, and I will show you the finished product when we come back. Okay. Fresh out of the oven. So they're very hot. I did end up cooking them closer to like 13 minutes. Cheers. They're so good. If you want a chewy, tender, sweet, chocolatey, brownie, fudgy-like cookie, this is the one for you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. My phone won't let me do that. Let's try that again. Bye.